Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Now, I have done a couple of things off camera, and probably the most important thing is that I have added 2 more party members as mercenaries to our party here. Respectively, we have Woljif, who is our brown fur transmuter, and of course we have Peps, who is our sylvan sorcerer. He is going to be specializing in fire, and that is also why I felt Peps was a very appropriate name. I wonder why. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using Peps late game, because fire magic or that kind of magic isn't really that useful in the end game, so I might be replacing with a Scald at that point, but we will see. We will see. But we have to level them up, of course. So the first thing we will do is level them up, and we'll start with Woljif here, who is going to be brown fur transmuter all the way until level 10. So let's see here. Arcana, World, Nature, Religion, and Use Magic Device. He's going to be our know-it-all. Isn't that nice? Not sure. Level 2, we are going to require Hurricane Bow, and apparently I've already taken Magic Missile because I got one more spell than I thought at level 1. So for the other one, I can take, I guess, Burning Hands. Level 3, we are going to take usual skills first and foremost. As for the feat, we are going to take Martial Weapons Proficiency. And this is a requirement for him being able to use a glaive and or bardish, which is exactly what we want him to be using for now, of course. Level 2 spells, again. No, level 1 spells, again. We do want to have Protection from Alignment and Magic Weapon. And level 4, 1 point into Intelligence. I have no idea what to put those additional skill points into. Trickery, just in case. Level 2 spells, we are going to go with... What? Huh? There it is. Bull Strength and Glitter Dust. And that should be it for Woljif. Now, next up is Peps. I just need to keep these papers in some kind of semblance of order. Peps is a Sylvan Sorcerer. And we are using Trickery, Stealth, Knowledge Arcana, and Use Magic Device as the primary skills here. I suppose we could take another point into Lore Nature here. I don't know where to put that additional point, so... So, do the same here. His level 3 feat should be Shake It Off. That might sound strange, but... might be a bit early. But there's a reason for it. Spells. We want Mage Armor. And level 4, 1 point into Charisma. Okay, we don't want to take that point in Raw Nature when we don't get that one. Level 2 spells. We are going to take... Scorching Ray. There we go. Now this build is not perhaps the most ideal optimal build. I designed it myself. Imagine that. Now, back to the story. We do have to talk to 2 people in the inn. I did sell a lot of stuff. Apparently I have more things that I can sell. I didn't sell. Okay. Well then, be right back. There we go. So I sold all the stuff we don't need. I equipped Peps with an entrapping longbow. He will eventually be using, not sure, probably a falchion. I think I set it up here somewhere. Primarily, he will be staying away from combat, but yeah, falchion. And I equipped Wally with the Dark Horn glaive. He will be specializing in either glaive or bardish. I think glaive. Let me see here. No, actually, he's going to be specializing in Forshard. So, yeah. Okay, well, we need to talk to the Storyteller first and foremost, so let's do that. See, get experience points here. The blind elf looks better than he did in your last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some color. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my savior? I recognized your footsteps. Determined footsteps fitting of a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The elf hands you a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes on it. Get the Storyteller's ring. Irabeth has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Kenabres that the local wardstone had been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. I have examined many wardstones, but only in the one guarding Kenabres did I sense a flaw, a spot of corruption inside. A vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupt it and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. The wardstone must be destroyed. Who are you and why did they let you examine the wardstone? The elf smiles faintly. I am the Storyteller, just an old elf, and a bit more. I am old even for an elf. I have seen many things and have been to many places. Not so long ago I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the stolen lands led by a remarkable and promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful to that leader. This is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who's never hurt anyone, stayed out of others' squabbles but sometimes gave good advice. I had a few friends in Erosian who vouched for my integrity. This is why my humble request to be allowed to see the wardstones was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Kenabres. Do you wield some special magic power? Some instinct? Yes, to a certain extent, but it is more a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object and shreds of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions and tragedies. I see visions like I am them and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I have been roaming the world gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day I will gather them all. What blight is concealed in the wardstone? I am afraid I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the wardstone was created, and it is hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning remembered with fear even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers and started to do what demons do best. Kill and desecrate. They say they covered the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift of Iomedae herself? The locals think this is impossible, but who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here, even the terrifying Baylor Koramzadeh. Their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Descari himself has now come to take advantage of this weakness. to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Kenabres. And when the Demon Lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in demon hands, and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight throughout the entire stone. And from it, to the other stones along the whole perimeter of the Worldwound. Why did you travel to the Wardstone? Try to see their stories. The visions I had when I touched the Wardstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. Thank you. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the Wardstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Kenabres, but the demons might have some. I heard the dying roar of Terendelev, the Silver Dragon, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me head to toe. I would advise you to go to where Terendelev perished and search there for, something. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but intuition and a strange sense of a rightness tell me to point you there. Well, we have this purple stone knife here. I found this in the square where Terendelev perished. What do you make of it? The storyteller reaches out and says softly, "Even from here I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions and shreds of their memories. Maybe it'll help us better understand what we are dealing with." The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice disgustingly raspy. Hunger. My many legs bring me into the lair, to my mother's feasting hall. Her swollen body overfilled with food is so huge that I have to look at it with all of my eyes at once. On top of her scrawny little head with a long beak is that is always yearning for more food. You feel feverish, and your chest, where the mysterious wound is concealed, feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions. Visions that repeat the words of the old elf. Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid, greedy wretch whose only achievement is my birth. A creeping wingless creature. It is your fault I have no wings. A symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn, and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark, buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limp, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters, the bone spurs on my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful, tiny head and tear it off along with the shreds of meat. Victor. I am the strongest. I am the son of my winged father. The elf grimaces with distaste. His voice becomes normal again. Appalling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knife belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking at the Wardstone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clench the stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the Wardstone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly. Corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless. But it will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with a knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light. White light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the old elf's hand. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He is trembling, a terror on his face, so unlike his usual dignified manner. What was that? That was not the past. That was something that is yet to happen, or rather might happen. One of the roads to the future. In one of the possible futures, this item will help you cleanse the ward stone, or destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound that has opened up in it. It is hard to resist this feeling, but at the last moment your self-preservation instinct takes over, and you manage to keep control of your own hands. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me. But how? I am not an oracle or a prophet. Or is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing, but seeing stories that are yet to happen? I don't know why this is happening now, but there is one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes. Great changes. I shared your vision, and this knife tempted me. Did you see what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object that you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened to us, something we don't yet understand. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The future never opened its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you, and why have our paths crossed? I feel this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something, but what? Questions without answers. I swear this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's the knife that gives you the power of divination? This knife is a powerful artifact, but I feel that its power is of a different nature. No, I felt the same as I do when I tell the past. This is my gift, but it's manifested in a completely abnormal way. Is what you saw destined to happen? No, the future is not set. It used to be a long time ago when the god Arendae guarded Golarion, but not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, but not the way they were supposed to. I only saw one version of the future, one of the paths leading to it, but the choice has not yet been made, and our destinies are not yet set in stone. Who were you in your vision? I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Your powers are amazing. A few minutes ago I would have agreed with you, but the thing that has just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and these changes frighten me. Now, I think this will just lead back to that. Yep. Please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of them could tell us a story. The storyteller nods polite. Let me touch them and I'll tell you what I can see. The storyteller's hand runs carefully over the scale that has still not lost its shine. Proud Arendae, protector of Kenabres. You devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss, but maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to your many admirers. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this, so you guys can read the specifics here yourself. So I'm going to present him the stone knife again, which brings this back. That grazed it out. Now we can show him the scale of Arendae. And that gives us a quest to find something else that once belonged to Arendae. Can I help you? Yeah, I appreciate your offer. I have reason to believe that somewhere in Kenabres there is a manuscript authored by an elf from Kyonian who witnessed Earthfall. The storyteller's voice suddenly breaks, and he stops for a moment. For personal reasons, I would like to examine it, but no matter how hard I try, I've failed to find it. Even in the Blackwing Library, I only found a mention that the manuscript exists and is held somewhere in the city. I assume it's stored at the Grey Garrison. They wouldn't let me into the archive when I visited. All those crusaders were nervous about the strange blind elf interested in their secrets. It's understandable. The crusade naturally made them a little paranoid. But now the Grey Garrison has fallen into the enemy's hands. I would be grateful if I could see the manuscript. Now, I want to know more about you. Again, I will not read that out loud, so you guys can read if you are interested. The reason I'm not reading it out loud is because I have asked him these questions in previous playthroughs, and I don't think it is that interesting for people who have seen those previous episodes to hear all of this again. So that's why. The same about the questions about our encounter in the Blackwing Library. And then we'll move on. Now, the next person we have to talk to is Irabeth. Any success? How is the city? I need to have a sip of water here. I found Janna Aldori like you asked. Yes, thank you. It is good to have her back. We need every fighter we can get. Irabeth frowns. I suppose it's asking too much to want fighters that are sober as well. The Tower of Estrod has been cleared of demons. Great. The places where the demons have gathered need to be cleared one by one. Then they won't be able to stab us in the back when we take on the Grey Garrison. Thank you for your service. What is our strategy for the attack on the Grey Garrison? I shall lead the rest of my forces in a frontal assault. This will distract the enemy enough to let you use the secret passage and reach the wardstone. Destroy it before the demons turn Iomede's gift into a weapon of the abyss. Most of the allies you've found will join my forces, but you can expect a certain amount of support from them. The Order of the Flaming Lance counts among its members most valiant knights and masters of the occult. We are about to test an experimental ritual they have developed. Should it all go according to plan, your party will have a serious advantage during the battle at the Grey Garrison. In these dark days, the most unlikely allies join forces to fight the common foe. All tieflings are treated with prejudice in Kenabres, let alone the smugglers and the thieves of their kind. And yet they are on our side, and I'll make sure their contribution is not forgotten after the victory. They'll be of little use in open combat, but they'll help you spot secret doors and warn you about traps. And that was the important part we had to talk to her about. We also need to quickly speak to Forn, Autumn, Haze. We will get a little bit of experience points for that. I met Kaelessa. Under what circumstances? I hope you seized the opportunity to kill her. She claims she doesn't serve the demons. Of course she does. In an attempt to buy her life, she would stoop to the boldest and the most egregious of lies. Whose word do you trust? Hers or mine? Are you certain of your allegations? I am. Her misdeeds are terrible and proven with absolute certainty. I let her go. After giving you a saddened look, Forn stares off into the distance. Your decision is regrettable. I am afraid that in doing so, you've condemned her many future victims to death. I suppose it just means that bringing this hunt to a close falls upon my shoulders. And that should be about it for the inn. Of course, Wally has a spell book, which is more or less empty currently. So we will not be bringing Wally on our little sojourn right now. Oh, I also looked up whether it was worth it to do the Grey Garrison before the attack on the Defender's Heart, and you get less experience and less loot, so not really. We are going to swap out Camellia with Peps, I think. I would like to go to the Arendae party house and Gurm's mansion, but I think we can save a little quick trip up to the Thieflings Hideout. I've also forgotten to level up his pet, so I'm gonna have to do that too. Sure. That helps. Yep. Easy as goblin pie. What does our group look like now? Yeah, let me level up the dog real quick. Bully, of course. Athletics and perception. Fury's Fall. And as for a name, it would be very fitting if this was Quadrotus, but this is not going to be Quadrotus number 2. We already have Quadrotus. So, let's see here. Hold on, please. No, this will be Jonathan. And continue to level him up. He should end up at level 4. Level 3 feet should be combat reflexes. And we need 1 point in intelligence. There we go. Done. Moving on. Now we should have a look at this. That's probably too close. This is asymmetrical for some reason. There we go. Sister carries me. The basement is dark and dank, and you are immediately struck by the hostility of the gathered tieflings. The 5 of them are kneeling along the wall, separate from the rest. The tall woman, who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of her knife, greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Woljif, you got my message then. Sorry I couldn't swing by sooner, dear Sister Charisme. It was just one thing after another. First, I was in shackles, next... Well, no, I was still in shackles and I was being watched, and then the chief got me out and I came here straight away. I knew you'd been waiting on me. Enough talking, or else we'll be here all night. So, we had a clear plan. We were going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods and leave. Even if the neighbors called the guard, there was time to get away. But what happened? That bitch Irabeth showed up almost right away. She knew we'd be there. Somebody betrayed us, and I have a good idea of who it was. What do you have to say to that? Make it quick. Do you think Woljif knows the name of the traitor? The Charisme turns to you. He speaks. I thought Woljif only brought you so he'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. Yes, he knows the name of the traitor. Every gang that Brother Woljif has been a part of has very quickly come to an end. Their hideout location was passed to the guards, or their competitors found out where they could ambush them. Woljif is the only one who always comes out smelling of roses. If you think about it, you'll come to the same conclusion as us. I'd have said that meant that Woljif was cursed with finding friends among losers and screw-ups, but now that he's with us, that must mean the curse has been broken. Woljif, tell us your side of the story. What happened? What's there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Charisme got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there, I mean. Woljif jerks his head toward the 5 Thieflings kneeling by the wall. She rounds us up and says she says we've got a score. Ancient trees and wonders. The one place nobody's ever been able to hit. The place that's guarded by a golem. But now a powerful scroll that would knock out the golem just happened to come into our procession along with a tip-off that the shop owner would be gone on a particular night. All 6 of us know a bit of magic, and we know that any enchanted junk will sell for a pretty penny, so we're in. And the most important thing was that none of us was to be hanging about the shop ahead of the job. No casing out the place, no calling attention to ourselves from either the golem or its master. This job was top secret. It's all true so far. Go on. We did everything right, with the locks and the golem. I picked the lock, I remember it clear as day. Sister Dalna was on lookout. Brother Melrone had the scroll. Duffy, Tavi and Varnir brought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. I remember scooping up rings and tossing them in a sack, and one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under a table after it, and next thing I know, Irabeth was there. Everybody scampered, but I was still under the table. Not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail and put me in shackles. They took all my rings off me, about 20,000 worth. And, to add insult to injury, I never even found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So, they caught you, poor thing, stripped you of your loot, and you didn't even manage to stash anything. Charisme is pointedly polishing the knife. Where is the Moon of the Abyss, Brother Woljif? What is the Moon of the Abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of Ancient Trees and Wonders. Sterling silver, sparkled like a star. Fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon, you know, a crescent, a waning moon, and in the middle there was a dark crystal, like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Philemon was so proud of that amulet. He used to say, "I'll never sell it. It's the jewel of my collection." I used to go there to see what kinds of treasures there were in the world. There's nothing else to look at in Canarbers. People used to claim it was a powerful thing, but who's to say? If you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have the guards on you the second you tried to fence it. Everybody knew that you were always hanging around Ancient Trees and Wonders, drooling over the Moon of the Abyss. Did you think you could swipe it in all the commotion and keep it for yourself? Did you hope that we'd all be locked up and you'd get off scot-free and with a fancy trinket to boot? But don't take me for a mug, Woljif. I see right through you. Why would Irabeth arrest her own informant? Took the words right out of my mouth. It doesn't make any sense. If I was the rat, I'd have kissed her on the hand and be long gone by now. You know me, sister. I'm a cautious fella, not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish in the cellar can have a nice Woljif-sized dinner? Moon of the Abyss is a pretty bauble to be sure, but it's just an amulet. It ain't worth dying over. You knew Irabeth's people would protect you. You knew you could pin the moon going missing on them, and now you've come here with backup. You knew exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is, nobody's returned the amulet to Philemon. Are you giving Irabeth a cut? Is that it? Have you seen her? Do you think she'd take a cut of anything I offered her? She can't be bought. She's like 3 heralds of Iomedae all rolled into one. He speaks the truth. You'll find some knights who'll take bribes, I'm sorry to say, but Irabeth Tirabade isn't one of them. Go on, Woljif. That's the whole sorry story. Woljif crosses his arms, looking affronted. Some family this turned out to be. It's just a name in the end. In a real family, people take each other at their word. They don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the Moon of the Abyss. What am I going to do with it? You can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You can't wear it. It'll get nicked. It is pretty to look at it, sure, but it ain't that pretty. If it's that important to you, Sister Charisme, I'll find it, and I'll drag the traitor here by his horns, just so you don't end up at the bottom of the cellar. But do you know what you're going to owe me for that? An apology. Right here in front of everyone, you're going to apologize loud and clear so everyone hears it. You'll say, sorry, Woljif, you're a good guy and I was wrong about you. Fine. You're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, Brother Woljif, the family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, pouring poison in every cup and every meal. You'll look into the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if the family's come for you. You'll have no peace. But one day you'll be tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath. And that is when we'll get you. Got that? You have a way with words, Sister Charisme, a way that almost made me wet myself, but a way nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go chat to that scary gal Irabeth. She knows you a little. We can ask her who ratted us out. I'll let you do the talking. We'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology. Onward to Irabeth, Chief. Let's go clear my good name. Root out the traitor, but be quick about it. Time's running out. I don't want to be chewed up by demons. There's that out of the way. Since there's nothing else up here, we can just pop in to talk to Irabeth quickly on the way. Apparently, we could use someone with a little bit more stealth. So we're facing that way, and they are facing that way. That is most curious.
Cover me, all right?
That's a nice amount of stuff. The studded leather. Woljif usually is able to keep the enemies from seeing us, so I don't know why. Ah, oops. There is a traitor I'm trying to track down. Who is your informant among the Thieflings? Irabeth arches her brows in surprise. Canabras is threatened by a demon horde and you have enough spare time to help out thieves? I don't like this, but I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note, and disappeared. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face, but the horns, the long horns, didn't fit under it. There should be a guardian golem in Ancient Trees and Wonders, the shop they tried to rob. The owner gave us the construct's code word, just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact, so you can interrogate the thing and find out what it saw. The code word is Hand of Aurora. The shop's owner must have escaped. There's a chance you'll get lucky with a golem. Okay. Off we go again. We don't really need to do that yet, so let's go to the Arendae party house because I want to finish something before before the 3 days are up. How the heck did that spider get into the city? I mean, I can understand the fly, but the spider? Oh, there's another one as well. Lovely.
The light, take you!
Critical hits for 36. That's not bad, land. Yeah, we're going to have to do a couple of these, it would appear. What is Woljif's stealth? -4 because he's wearing... No, that is the wrong character. 15, and yet we are not able to sneak past them. A succubus? Isn't that a bit early?
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
I know there's a Shur behind us, but a succubus is kind of bad. Not that that isn't bad enough. We deal with that. Heal peps.
Distract them for me.
That was a good hit, at least. Ow. Don't you have magic missile? So close, but trip the thing? Come on, one of you must be able to trip it. Thank you. Jeez. How about you drink some potions? Really? I feel that was very early for a succubus. First of all, let's make sure that we loot the kitchen, and there are apparently some dretches in here.
Yet another obstacle.
Let them come in here. I suppose I could use grease.
You should have listened to reason. Who cast Reese? I think it was Peps. Yeah, it's difficult to keep those texts readable. It would appear we arrived in time. Yeah, I chose the correct voice for Pep's Madman, as you can hear. Can you get rid of that, please? My wizard is down. Good. The combat music is definitely a bit loud, but I think you can hear my voice possibly okay above it. Woljif. You can go there and maybe you'll get an attack opportunity if he tries to stand up. What have you missed? Okay,
Mind over muscle.
looking at all of these running around headlessly is kind of annoying. There's Arendae. Quite important that she doesn't die. Too far away.
You won't survive me.
So one more down. At least some of them are doing something. Can you kill it? Thank you. That should be it. Okay, let's talk to Arendae first and foremost, so that's that out of the way. Thank you, stranger. The young woman does not look the least bit scared. Her cheeks are flushed and her blue eyes are glittering. For saving us from the demons and for your timely entrance. I swear, I don't know who has enraged me more today, the demons or the oh-so-affable master of this house. I'm a friend of Ilk's. He asked me to find you and protect you. The young woman clasps her hands together. Ilk's is alive and has made a brilliant new friend. It's a shame it had to happen now when the city is under siege by the demons. And those pig-headed inquisitors are pursuing us instead of doing something useful. Do you know where the third of your group is? Wallflower? No idea. If he knows about the demon attack, he won't just hide away. He'll go out and try to help people. If he doesn't know, well, you have no chance of finding him. He's a pretty skilled mage, but I doubt he'll risk using magic. He'll probably do something the Inquisitors won't expect, pose as someone, disguise himself. He had a great selection of masquerade costumes in the temple. She becomes lost in thought for a moment. I know. I'll tie my shawl around your arm. Wallflower gave it to me. He'll spot it right away and know you're a friend. If I were you, I'd look for him in Canabras's market square. Why did you decide to break into the wardstone and cast magic on it? You put your lives at risk. Your information could have been a trap set by the demons. But it wasn't a demon trap. You know, living next to the Worldwound and seeing the powerlessness of the Crusaders, it's very hard. We've been trying to defeat the demons for 100 years now, and we have nothing to show for it. I think that Queen Galfrey and the other leaders think that we can defeat evil if we line up our soldiers in perfect columns and send them marching off with a stirring battle cry. We just need a few more soldiers, a little more discipline. But we've been marching for 100 years, and it's always one step forward, 2 steps back. And while the soldiers are marching, people like Halrun are seizing power behind their backs. His fanaticism and cruelty were forged in the same furnace as the Crusaders' righteousness. We will never defeat the demons if we keep trying to march down this same path. We need to change tack. to challenge our principles, trust our hearts and our friends, and not mouldering doctrines. We need to listen to any entity that is willing to help us. My friends and I listened, and we trusted, and we tried to change something. At least we tried, even though it didn't work out. Great idea. Marching in straight lines won't work, so let's go attack the demons in a merry band of hopers and dreamers, brimming with enthusiasm and doing just whatever we feel like. When the demons see us coming, they'll die of his hysterics, and our victory will be complete. Naive children, that's what you are, but I admit, your word stirs something in my soul. I wouldn't put you in charge of a military campaign, but I would be proud to fight alongside you. Can you get somewhere safe on your own? Looks like the Inquisitors aren't busting down the door just yet, and they're not hiding under the bed, so I think I'm safe for now. I'll be fine on my own. I'll go to our temple, to Ilk's. The Inquisitors must have searched there by now. They won't go back a second time. And now Count Darren.
Greetings, valiant stranger who has just burst into my life. I am the master of this house, Count Darren Kale, myriad mellifluous monikers Arendae. No need to introduce yourself. I find remembering insignificant details, such as the name of passing acquaintances, such a bore.
Wow. Bona fide blue bloods and unparalleled aristocracy. All this makes me itch to do something really crass. Ooh, like blow my nose on the curtains.
What are you waiting for, my squamous squire? The curtains in this room are velvet, but we have some excellent silk ones with gold thread elsewhere in the house. Take your pick. My soft furnishings are yours to do with as you wish. I'm quite sick of the place, truly. I shall either sell it, or burn it to the ground and build a new mansion in its place. Now that we've finished with the niceties, tell me this. How did all those thrice-damned demons end up at my soiree?
I don't want to alarm you, but the city was attacked by the demons, led by Discari.
I wanted to ask if you were joking, but your face tells me you are not. It seems as though Discari's occasion was altogether more of a crush than mine, if you will pardon the pun.
I will not, but what should I know about you, Count, apart from the fact that you're high-born and very rich?
As a child, I had my very own pony, but I always dreamed of having a lamb. I was never allowed one. Sheep were seen as peasant animals, utterly unsuitable for the scion of a noble line. The trauma haunts me to this day. I think of it every time I have roast lamb for dinner. I'm sorry if I failed to sate your curiosity. I loathe talking about myself to people I don't know, even more to those I do know. The only thing worth knowing, aside from the fact that I am highborn and filthy rich, is that I dislike Puritans and demons in equal measure. Well, perhaps demons a tad more.
You don't seem very concerned about the city's fate.
I have no friends here whose untimely demise I would care to mourn. The only alarming thing is how easily all this happened. I don't care for the thought that demons could come calling at my door at any moment. And just think, everyone had so much faith in the ward stones gifted by Iomede's herald, and in the might of our tamed dragon, as if there had been no Dresden or a dozen other routes where the demons overcame every defense.
I expect a little gratitude for saving you.
Of course, where are my manners? There. You can also poke about the house and claim whatever takes your fancy. Though I imagine some of you already had that in mind.
I wonder who he's referring to.
I'm feeling very attacked right now.
Yes, you should be. You could go to the Defender's Heart. It's under the protection of Irabeth Tirabade and the Eagle Watch.
I thank you for the invitation, but I am not quite as desperate as I may seem. At times, it is better to be surrounded by the repugnant mugs of demons than the sour and dour physiognomies of Iomede's righteous paladins.
What about my physiognomy? Sour enough for his lordship? Don't worry, another few minutes with the dazzling Count here, and it'll sour like week-old milk.
What's this? An attractive paladin with a sense of humor? You're a veritable walking scandal.
Indeed.
Either way, my mansion is now safe. I have a pair of half-decent guards. I just need to drag them out of the storeroom and bring them to their senses. I ordered them to drink a love potion, you see? For reasons which seemed extremely witty at the time and in the state of inebriation I then found myself in. They can guard the house while the valorous paladins beat back the demon assault. They will beat them back, yes? As regards myself, I feel like stretching my legs. I know rudimentary divine spells, I am no friend to demons, and I elevate any society that I deign to grace with my presence. I shall accompany you, only for a short time, of course. I have no desire to remain at the vanguard for a protracted period. What say you, my ephemeral but highly diverting acquaintance? After all, Lord Descari spoiled my party. I now burn with the desire to spoil his.
Darren is probably my favorite companion character, and I would love to have him in the party, but 2 oracles would both get staggered. That's just a bit too much. But I'm going to say deal.
Capital. Good acquaintances that begin and end at just the right moment often leave the most pleasant memories. Wouldn't you say?
Of course. So we'll just leave him here. Now, we were allowed to loot more. I don't know if there's more to loot, but... Portrait of Galfrid Mendel. That is a nice harp.
A success worthy of praise.
Ah, with the marks of Desna. Should be able to do this. Not really. Okay, so the next place we have to go, and we will go there right away in this episode. That'll be the Market Square. I don't recall entirely where he is, but I think he's one of these guys. The eyes of a young lad peer out of you from under the massive helmet. At this proximity, it is obvious that his armor is ill-fitting and mismatched, and the helmet specifically is either very poorly made or a theatre prop. Pardon me, I saw you at that shore. Does this mean that you're a friend of Aranka's? What am I saying? Of course it does. So... The young man's speech is interrupted by the arrival of a new cast of characters. People in the robes of Iomede's Inquisitors appear from all sides, surrounding him. Adept Thall of the Temple of Desna, you are under arrest on suspicion of treason and aiding the demons. You have 1 minute to come quietly. Drag your feet and we'll count that as an attempt to resist justice. Prelate Hulrun appears behind his people. And here's the traitor who almost corrupted the Wardstone with his magic. You didn't think that a disorder and demonic presence in the city would distract us from pursuing traitors, did you? Demons are running amok all over Canabras. Now is not the time for settling scores. On the contrary, now is the perfect time to catch the demons' accomplices while they are overconfident, letting their masks slip. You are torturing this poor boy for nothing. I cannot stand for this. The Inquisitor's brow furrows. You bear the gift of heaven, and you're taking the side of a delinquent and conspirator? Heaven knows not only righteous anger, but mercy as well. The Inquisitor gazes at the light, not even blinking. His face reveals a desperate inner struggle. At last he rubs his temples. I do not know why you are standing in the way of justice, but I do not wish to start a spat between the goddess's righteous warriors in this hour of peril. Let this Desnan riffraff go wherever he likes, just as long as it's out of my sight. When we liberate the city from the demons, I will see to it that every one of Ramian's runts and everyone like him will be driven out of Canabras. Come, faithful, we have no further business here. The young man lets out a sigh of relief as he watches the Inquisitors go. This is just blatantly unfair. We try to protect the city from demons, and instead of helping us, we get hunted by the Inquisitors. Red Hulrun will be the death of us all, and there's nothing we can do about it. Anyway, thank you. I'd have been done for without you. The Inquisition has gone too far. I'm glad I didn't let them take you. That's it. I don't believe I'll get a fair hearing from Hulrun. If it wasn't for you, I would have been tortured and put to death. But even so, I have my regrets. I think we went too far trying to break into the Wardstone, and we didn't even save anyone. Chin up, pal. Now, you screwed up royally, no doubt, but you meant well, didn't you? Hulrun was trying to do the same thing as you, but he killed a whole lot of people while doing it. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go to the Temple of Desna. I want to be alone with the goddess and reflect on all that has happened. And that, I think, is the final thing we'll do in this episode. So in the next one, we will finish up the market square. We'll first and foremost head over to the Temple of Desna and talk to Ilks and the people there. And I guess we'll also have to pay a visit to Hulrun if it's still down there. But for now, if you have any questions and or comments, then please do feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you all in the next one.